In this video we are going to take a look on localization. So this is how the app looks like after adding localization. What localization means is you want your app to support multiple languages. So if there are two labels in your application and the device language is selected as English, they should show English, and if it is selected as Spanish, let's say, then it should be showing Spanish keyword. So for example, let's take a look at this demo application. If we change the device language, primarily right now the preferred language is English. If we make it Spanish by bringing it here, continue, and we switch back to our application, previously it was showing as in English, now it will show in Spanish. So this is the whole purpose of having localization in your application. There are two ways to do that. Let's check out the first way quickly. So I will close this Xcode and I will create from the start. Now let's go to this. This is the sample startup project I created. Now what we need to do, the first step is go to example, the project, and add localization from the info tab. Let's add so if you see there is English development localization is there. You can add more languages. Let's go add Spanish. Here we go, for both main and launch. So after adding, if you go to main, you will see a main.string Spanish. This is the .string file. Here you can give what should be the value, what should be the text that should appear when the device language will be selected as Spanish. Same goes in here as well, in launch, storyboard, Spanish. Now what we need to do is go to main storyboard and go to localization and select English as well. Same for launch storyboard, so that our both the storyboards will support both the languages, Spanish and English. Right now we will be working on main, that is creating two labels. So I'll quickly create two labels. I'll just give it quickly some constraints, put it in stack view, put it in the center, and that's all. Now what I want is this label, I want to give the value. So in English we go, and here we will be giving the object ID of label dot text. So I would rather write it as object ID dot text, and we give the English version text, and that is the format. So where is the object ID of label 1? We go here and we go and take a look into this fourth tab, and you will find object ID. Just copy this, put it in this string file English. Let's start with English in such way, dot text, and give it your first or first name and call. We go take the second label object ID, that would be this, text equals to last name, and what we need to do is go to Spanish and take the Spanish version of this. So I will quickly get it translated. First name in Spanish would be this, so paste it here, and last name would be Epido. Alright, this is it. Save it. Now run the application and let's test it. So run it. So right now it is showing in Spanish, because if you go to the setting, if you go to the language, the preferred language right now is Spanish. If you make it English, continue. Now go back to our application. It will show in English. That will be all, which is a manual way. So the second way is for when the user want to select the language from the UI of the application. Based on that, we will uh, uh, we will change all the labels showing the particular showing everything in that particular language. How do we do that? We just make the application take the same strings that we have shown here from some another file that is also a string file only. Let's create quickly first and then I'll show you. Let's go and string file. This is the file you create. Keep it localizable. Let's keep it that way. It's not necessary, you can change the name as well. Now once the string is created, this file is created, I'll just bring it on the top. Now if you will localize it, then go here, so you will see at the place of localization it is the string is created, the file is created for English language. Let's do for Spanish also, so that our application support both language. Now what we need to do is we need to give this English string and Spanish strings for our two labels in these files, and then we will make the controller take those values from these files. So the format is a bit different, the format that we have shown here. In here it's very simple, you just create a key for your label. So the key is going to be same in all the string files, and to that we give the text. So this text is basically, if it is in localized string English, then the text will be in English. If it is in Spanish, it would be in Spanish. So let's create it. Let's say label 1 key, and that way we will give the value to first name and label 2 key, last name, and the same thing we'll be giving in English. Sorry, it should be in Spanish here. In English it should be, this should be perfect, and in Spanish we will again take those what we say first time, and from here only I'll just take it. And that would be all. Now I will just remove the text from here, and let's go to view controller. In here I would need to create the outlet of both the labels. Why? Because we will be taking the input from the user for selecting the language, and upon that we will be running some code. So let's quickly create first, and then I'll show you. label 1. Now in grid load we will be taking label 1 dot text and we'll assign the ns localize string. This is the function that you would use to refer to those localized string files or the string in those files, these files that we created. So from here all we have to give is the key that we wrote, that is label 1 key, and in the comment nothing really, and the same label 2 dot text localized string, you will be giving label 2 key, and that would be all. Now let's run it and test it. Okay, there's some problem here, invalidly redeclaration. Okay, we already did it here, so I'll quickly fix it. Go to main, label 1, label 2, this one is hooked, so we need to hook it to only one of those. And let's remove this one. Now let's reload. So right now label 3 key, wait a minute, Spanish, English, level 2 key, let's go to, or sorry, 2 key. So this was a mistake, let's rerun it. Now we're good to go. So right now the device language, let's check that it is English, I guess. Yes, and now we will change it to Spanish. Now it is changed. Go back to application, it is changed. So all we did was, this is the manual way of making localization embedded in your application. So what is the difference between these two approach? The first one was automatic. All you have to do is to make the application localizable for new methods, new languages, and then you can just give the text in that language, and based on the device language it will change automatically, the application will change automatically. In the second, we have written the code so that this will basically go to the specific localizable string and they look for the key, and based on the language of the device, it will go to the value of this key. So if the location if the if the language of the device is Spanish, it will go to this file and take this one, and if the language is English, it will go to same key but then take this. So that's the difference only. So what is the use of doing it manually is, if you have some input here, maybe let's say segmented control here, and you can one you can keep English, and in another you can keep Spanish, and based on the user input the app should behave. So on that click you can run this code, or maybe I'll just quickly show you. Let's try running it and test it. So if it is English, okay, okay, so it is taking it English, Spanish, English, Spanish, and that would be all. This is the another way. In English we have wrote first name, last name. So Spanish, English, first name, last name. In Spanish we have written this. If we change it a little bit more, rerun the application, you will see it will reflect here. So we are sure that it is taking from this file. So this is the manual way of doing it. So I hope you got both the ways clear. If not, check out the video once again. I'm sure you will get it, and I'll see you in another video. I think I'm not missing anything. Yes, so I'll see you in another video.